We talk about fall camp and what do they have to do to get ready for the upcoming season, but when it comes to summer preparation, what do you want your players to do in the summer to get ready for tomorrow?
Yeah, prepare their bodies for the grind of what August is. You know, it's a long month as well. So the summer is so critical to be able to prepare their bodies in the weight room, training room, nutrition, so they can be in the best position physically going into preseason camp as well. But the summer is just so much more because we're limited as coaches in what we can do with them. So that's really where the time of year where the team really comes together and you start to see leadership develop and whatnot. And I feel like that happened for us, and that's very critical each and every summer for every college football team.
Day one tomorrow, what's your number one objective for the team tomorrow?
It's a lot of guys that it'll be their first practice ever as a Gamecock, you know, so to be able, hopefully we're efficient, guys know where to go, it's a smooth practice and very efficient for one. And then really just I'm eager to see some of the new faces like I'm talking about. We got some guys that we're counting on this year that will be their first practice, so eager to see them. And then like any coach, just to be able to, you know, make sure we stay healthy in day one.
Spencer's gone off to the NFL doing big things with the Saints. Now, all the talk is about Lenoris. He, you know, a South Carolina kid that we've got to watch in high school. Now everyone thinks it's his time to shine. But from a player perspective, how is he different from Spencer?
You know, from a physical standpoint, he just brings, I don't want to say necessarily more athleticism to the position, but he and Robbie Ashford both at quarterback just have an element at the quarterback position that we haven't had before. And the fact that you're talking about guys that are close to 240 pounds and can run, both those guys can, and that wasn't necessarily Spencer's game, if you will. And then they're both leaders in their own way. You know, Lenoris is a very consistent, you know, steady guy, and Spencer was also, but kind of in his own way. They're both guys that have and had the respect, you know, of this football team, and each bring a unique skill set to the quarterback position.
I know you talked about Robbie as well, so what does the quarterback battle look like this season, this fall really?
Yeah, want to see how those guys just continue to progress. You know, Robbie made strides this summer, and Lenoris had a leg up because he was here last season, so he understood the offense, and it wasn't so much of a learning curve for him in spring practice. You know, Robbie, he went through his first practice ever back in the springtime, and he got better and closed that gap, if you will, between him and Lenoris. And then they've both had the summer to be around their team as well. And that's what I just want to see is both those guys continue to compete. They're both going to have a role, you know, for us on this upcoming football, in this upcoming season. And what that looks like will be determined here over the next few weeks as we head into August 31st.
And then when you look at the defensive side of the ball, what are things that you weren't too pleased with last season that you'd like to see change this year?
Yeah, we've got to do a better job of generating pressure on the quarterback. We didn't affect the quarterback as much as we needed to last year. We were one of the, you know, I don't want to say worst, but we didn't do a great job from a sack category statistically. We got to put more pressure on the quarterback, so without a doubt. And then, you know, we gave up way too many explosives early in the season potentially. Long plays, passes over our heads. We've been really good at that over the years. We've got to make sure we get back to that, which we did towards the end of the season. So limit the explosives, create more pressure on the quarterback. But I believe we'll be able to, because one thing that I didn't like about the defense last year is that we just didn't have the depth that we needed. And if you look at us at every single position on defense, we have more depth and athleticism than what we did last season. And that's awesome to think about. Now we've got to do a great job here in August of figuring out how all those pieces fit and where.
I know that this could be a long answer, but I know you obviously love all your players. But of all the ones that no one's really talking about, who are some players that you're excited for people to see that maybe aren't on people's radars?
You're right. That's a lot. It's like picking a favorite child. I just think we got some guys on our team that, you know, I think have had solid years last year that are back that maybe people aren't talking enough about. I would say Josh Simon at the tight end position. You know, he's a really talented guy that's had a great offseason that did some really good things for us last year at the tight end position, and you don't hear many people talking about him, you know. So that's one that maybe stands out to me from an offensive standpoint that people aren't talking about. And then it's a great question. Up front, I think just the fact that, you know, when you return your top 4 defensive tackles and Nick Barrett, Tonka Hemingway, Boogie Huntley, and TJ Sanders, we bring back all 4 of those guys, and maybe people are. I don't feel like people are talking about those guys enough and what they've done for South Carolina football in the year they're poised to have because of the fact that they're a year older and a couple transfers that we've added to that position too in DeAndre Jules and Monkel Goodwine.